All right. It's the Pop Tower Podcast. I'm Peter W. Dawson.
I'm James Bullock.
And we're here to talk to you about video games because E3 just wrapped up as of this recording. It'll probably be another week before this comes out. But, oh man, James, do you think there's a lot of stuff worth talking about?
You know what, Peter? I actually feel like it's 2017 all over again.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about in 2017 too, huh?
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff that came out in 2018 that we're excited for coming off of E3 2017. So, this year is the same thing. I'm really hyped about 2019.
Yeah. There's some stuff coming out later in the year.
Yeah, of course. Some stuff we already knew about and some stuff we didn't, and some stuff that got a little bit more fleshed out.
Yeah. So we're not going to cover everything, because some of it
all the
is going to
conferences
be...
and everything else, no, we're not doing that. It's too much.
Although, highlight for me, Bethesda conference, when the one guy came out to talk about Wolfenstein, or not Wolfenstein, Doom, and he just had the biggest, happiest grin on his face as he asked people if they wanted to see Hell on Earth.
Yeah.
I'm like, who is this man, and why is he always so joyous about the worst things ever? I must know.
Yeah, there was a lot of presentations where you actually saw genuine emotion from the people this year, and then there were musical acts that went on way too long.
Yeah. Don't do musical acts. I mean, even if the guys are talented, they're...
No. You think they were learned by now. They've done these things in the previous years, and they've never gone over well.
If you ever want an example of what it'll be like, just watch the opening scene from the very first episode of Silicon Valley. Frickin' Kid Rock does a performance at a party in Silicon Valley, and then no one cares, and he just curses them out and storms off. I'm like, look, even if it was a good set, which I'm not the biggest fan of Kid Rock, so probably not, but even if it was a good set, no one was going to care.
It's like, now it's like WrestleMania 25 all over again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I do feel bad for the performers who agree to do it. Like Andrew WK, who is generally a pretty good ska artist. You should not have been put in that position with Bethesda.
No.
You know, don't blame the crowd. Just blame the people for not realizing the crowd.
For putting you in that position.
Yeah. I've seen people blaming the crowd for not respecting Andrew WK. I'm like, you're not respecting the audience by putting them on.
Are you blaming the crowd for not respecting certain games that were announced previously before this, and they had to kind of like figure out how we're going to explain this and make people happy?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's such weak sauce.
Yeah.
But let's get into. We're gonna kind of jump around a bit. We're not, like I said, we're not gonna cover everything. We're not gonna talk about things where we basically just got a name and that was it.
Yeah, title screens.
Like this is the closest we're gonna get to talk about Elder Scrolls 6.
Exactly.
That's it. Moving on. But we already touched on Bethesda a bit, so maybe let's start with that. I'm just gonna cross things off as we talk about them. I got a list.
Okay.
So obviously, the one I was nervous about going into it was Fallout 76.
Yeah. For people that don't know, me and Peter had a conversation after the last recording, and I had him so worked up and scared about the potential of what Fallout 76 could be.
I was refusing to believe any rumors until we saw the conference, and unfortunately, the rumors were true.
Yeah, but not as bad as I put it over as it could have been.
Oh, you made it sound way worse, but I'm still not happy. Like, on the one hand, I like the fact that there's a big Fallout game that's multiplayer that people can play.
Right.
I was hoping for something closer to another game we'll be talking about later. So I don't like the fact that this is like, every NPC is actually going to just be another player.
Right.
Because what you're describing to me is GTA Online.
Exactly, where they have kind of like these loose missions that you can complete, but there's not necessarily a story. It's just you create your own universe kind of deal.
Yeah, and it's like, that's cool and all, but that's really not my style, especially because of the amount of griefing that can happen.
Yeah, which they are promising they'll try to rectify and make sure it doesn't happen.
James, you're not going to be able to stop the nukes.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way that they're going to be able to prevent everyone from being a jerk.
Like, I literally flipped off the screen when they said it was going to be online, and I'm like, Todd Howard's this generally very respected guy, and Bethesda had a pretty good sense of humor about it, because, they joked about it's like, it just works, and they talked about Skyrim now going to Alexa.
Yeah.
Which was a really funny video, I should say. I like that. But, yeah, Fallout 76, I was not feeling it at all.
Yeah, same here. I want to play it, I want to give it a chance, but I just can tell it's not going to be for me.
Well, here's the thing that I'm dreading. Because, like, the big thing that kills me is that the main Fallout team is working on this. Like, if it was another studio or something, I wouldn't care so much. It's like, oh, it's just a site. But, like, the fact that they made it the main focus of the Fallout team tells me that it could see a similar life cycle to what happened with Elder Scrolls 6 versus Elder Scrolls Online.
Wow.
Because remember, Online came out about 3 years after Skyrim.
Right.
And then it took into, like, probably the earliest for getting Elder Scrolls 6 is 2019.
Right, they put all their focus into it.
Yeah. So I'm worried that's going to happen with Fallout as well, and then we won't get a Fallout 5, at least from the main studio, for quite a while.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening. I think they're going to put a lot of eggs in one basket when it comes to, like you said, the popularity of Grand Theft Auto Online. Like, that's kind of become the model right now, and I think that's what they're going to be searching for.
Is that in Battle Royale games? And I mean, you know, it's good for the people who have, like, I cannot wait to see some Let's Plays in Fallout 76. But I'm not going to want to play it.
Like I said, I'm going to give it a chance, and I'm going to come in with an open mind, but I can just tell, just from the genre that it's connected to, it's just not my thing.
Yeah, I mean, and bear in mind, this is entirely our personal opinions. If you guys are excited about it, go for it. Just try to understand why we're being a little cynical about this.
And then, plus it's a Bethesda game, so you know it's going to be glitchy. And the fact that an online game is glitchy is a big problem.
I'm trying to reassure the listeners that we're just not going to be negative Nancy, so then you throw that in my face.
No, I just popped in my head like, no.
You're not wrong.
I can't let Peter make it sound this good. No.
Alright. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with it. If nothing else, very good cover of Take Me Home Country Road, which you can actually purchase to help Habitat for Humanity.
Awesome.
Yeah, so there you go, something positive. Like, we were talking, because, like, we saw the trailer for another game, which we might as well talk about next in just a second, and we weren't terribly impressed with how it was synced to the music. And then we saw how well Take Me Home Country Road was synced to Fallout 76. And it's like, see, that's how you do it. Which has been a long conversation me and my roommate keep having, because especially every time we watch an episode of My Hero Academia, we point out how badly synced the song is to the intro.
Right.
It's only like 2 points where it's any good, and it's like, see, that's not how you do it. Now we've seen examples of how you do it. But, yeah, since we kind of alluded to it already, I wanted to talk about Rage 2 real quick. Yeah, that was what
this is the way we put it over. For anybody that's looking forward to it, for Borderlands 3, there you go. They finally found it. It's just not Borderlands.
No,
it's just not named Borderlands 3.
I gotta disagree. It's not Borderlands, because it has very serious aesthetic, but it also has very comedic abilities. So it can't seem to make up its mind if it wants to be Borderlands or not. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's not going... Like, it might be afraid of going too zany.
Well, that was what I saw. That they were emphasizing more the zaniness than anything.
Yeah, because there's some really interesting abilities and stuff that they demonstrated. I mean, like, it looks like a fun enough game. But I'm worried that it's going to struggle for a sense of identity. Like, this is the one thing that worries me. Like, you know, I like the fact that they got Andrew WK to play the song, even if they had to brought him up on stage. Like, don't do that. But... You know, I thought it looked like a cool, fun game. It's not a franchise I've ever really checked out.
Yeah, it was a game that I gave a chance to back a generation ago, and it was what it was. It wasn't anything. It was like it was last generation's Gun, if you remember that, or was the other one Black? Yeah, it was just one of those games.
It's a game that, you know, had a lot of potential, didn't quite live up to the potential. We'll see what happens with 2, though, because I mean, of course, the character design, all the dudes with mohawks. Made me think of Fist of the North Star. Which I'm going to use... Like, we could talk about more Bethesda games, but I want to use that as a transition real quick.
No, I mean, I think those like the major stuff, you know, from Bethesda. Really, it was just Fallout 76 was like the major one that Bethesda really wanted to emphasize and kind of, I guess, cool the jets of everyone that was a little bit upset about the potential of what it could be.
Well, they also talked a bit about Doom, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that was another one. Was like, hey... a little video announcement, but that's really it. It wasn't any gameplay or anything attached to it, so...
No, there's not too much for that yet, but, yeah, so I was talking about Fist of the North Star. Sega confirmed that we're going to get a Western release of Fist of the North Star, Lost Paradise.
Right.
Which you and I, even with any trepidation that could come with this, are kind of fanboying over, because here's the thing. It's by the Yakuza team.
Yeah, it's actually... in the same line of the Yakuza games because of the engine. Like, they've actually considering it a Yakuza spinoff.
Yeah. Like, it almost is, because like, it's the same engine. Like, it's the Yakuza 6 engine in particular, I think. So it's like it just looks amazing because it's super stylized. It's got all the heat actions and everything. But it's Fist of the North Star, and for those who are uninitiated, the big spectacle of Fist of the North Star is it's Kung Fu the TV series meets Mad Max. So you get a post-apocalyptic martial arts saga where the protagonist, Kenshiro, is a master of the North-style martial arts, which allow him to make people explode by hitting their pressure points.
Exactly.
He explode into just like fountains of blood and all kinds of gory nonsense. And that's really all it is. It's just he's a very stoic, just dude who constantly makes people explode. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And I don't know how well it's going to translate into a video game, just because, like I said, the gratuitous violence to a certain extent. And even though the Yakuza games can get bloody, they've always kind of strayed away from the idea of like somebody exploding, whole body exploding right in front of you.
It's going to be a hard mature audience.
Right. So I'm intrigued.
And because they promised it's going to be even bloodier.
Yeah, so I'm intrigued to see how it turns out and what they do to try to really adapt the idea, the anime version of it into a video game. I'm really intrigued to see like the animation and everything. And like I said, I enjoyed Yakuza 6, so I know I'm going to enjoy the engine, at least. So at least I know I'm going to enjoy the fighting.
Yeah. No, if nothing else, the combat should be good.
Right.
And I've heard the minigames aren't bad either.
Okay.
Because, like, the whole thing is you can explore a city and everything, so it's still very much a Yakuza-style game, but just in the Fist of the North Star universe, where you play as Kenshiro. There was actually one more from Bethesda we didn't talk about yet. So to quickly jump back to them, Wolfenstein Youngblood.
I forgot about that. I forgot about Bethesda.
Yeah, because because Wolfenstein, the new Colossus.
New Colossus, yeah, which I'm just starting to play on Xbox One.
Really?
I was holding off. Well, actually, I wasn't holding off. I was just so busy last fall with all the games that came out. I just never got around to it. And that's kind of like what I did with my PS3, where I got multi-platform games that I wanted to play, and hey, I want to play it on Xbox One, so I just got it. So I just started playing the new Colossus, and now I'm really looking forward to Youngblood.
Yeah, because you get to play as the protagonist's twin daughters.
Yeah, and they're promising co-op action, which I think is a real big help to the game overall. I think that's going to be really, really fun. And I'm just intrigued to see how they adapt, because this is supposed to be, of course, in the 80s now. So I'm like intrigued to see a Nazi-fied 80s.
Nazi-fied 80s, oh man. It's like, they're saying Bangkok only makes the hard man hungry. What do you think, BJ? Sorry, that's my best camp German Nazi talking about one night in Bangkok. That was never going to be good, even if I could do German accents.
It was not going to turn out well.
No. So that looked interesting too. It's nice to see they're still doing stuff with Wolfenstein.
I was trying to figure out a segue to that one. Like, what game do we think was not going to turn out good after seeing the trailer for it or the announcement?
Oh, what game did I think was not going to look good?
Yeah, after we saw it.
I'm trying to think of one that doesn't look too terribly interesting. I can't really think of anything, because almost everything looks fine.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, games like Battletoads, it's got a title screen, we just know it's going to exist. Crackdown 3 got a delay again.
Oh, going back to Battletoads, though, I just wanted to emphasize that they did confirm it's going to be hand-drawn animation, though. So that'll be interesting.
Wow. I know it said it'd be 2.5 graphics, so it's more than likely going to be a side-scroller with hand-drawn animation, so that's going to be pretty awesome.
It's probably going to be classic Battletoads.
Yeah, definitely.
You know it's going to design. Yeah, Crackdown 3's been delayed again.
Yeah. It's nothing more we could really say about that, because, I mean, outside of, like, repetitive gameplay footage, and then that's for the delay, that was really it.
Well, I have a theory.
Okay.
This is a popular theory that's been circulating, because one of the other things they announced was Halo Infinite.
Exactly, yeah.
If you'll remember what happened with Crackdown 1, it came with beta access for Halo 3 Online.
Ah.
So it's possible that Halo Infinite is going to be tied into Crackdown 3. Because we don't know too much about Infinite yet. We know it's going to be a sequel to Guardians, but it's not going to be Halo 6 for some reason. Right, so we just don't have a lot of details on that.
You're going to get some Master Chief, but we're not going to explain how.
Yeah, like unfortunately it's still pretty vague, but I mean that's not coming out until I think next year.
At the earliest. It'll probably be next fall.
Yeah. Yeah. But they did also announce Gears of War 5.
Which looked incredible.
Yes, and we actually know something about that because it's going to focus on not what was his name, JP, the
new one for 4. Yeah,
it's not him. It's one of his friends who is the daughter of I can't remember who she's the daughter of.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. Like, just a side note, how much anger have you seen about the amount of female leads from this E3?
None.
I've seen a lot. Yes.
Really?
It is insane.
There's really not that many.
But still, it's like between this and Wolfenstein and another game we're going to talk about a little later. There was a lot of hate online about the amount of female leads and showcase on E3.
Jeez.
Really, really bad.
I honestly didn't see much, but then maybe my Twitter feed is just
yeah. Like, if you were in the middle of like the heat of E3, like watching it, then you really saw it. Thankfully, like I said, died down a lot after the conferences ended, but it was ridiculous.
Oh,
I know.
I mean,
it doesn't matter.
The protagonist makes sense. It really doesn't matter as long as the character makes sense. Who cares? Like I said, in Wolfenstein, it's the daughters of the hero who's now gotten kind of old.
And he was having a hard time in the second one, so why would you expect him to be the lead in the sequel?
Yeah, I mean, for goodness sakes, what happens to him in the second one is pretty rough. I mean, he starts out in a wheelchair. And then, and then for, where were we? Gears, it's like, it's a known protagonist. And they've already tried to change the protagonist once before, so I mean, I guess... You know, let's use it as a transition to talk about the next one. Let's jump over to some Sony for a second.
Okay.
So, Last of Us Part 2.
Okay, goosebumps. That was it for me. I couldn't care less about anything else from the rest of the show. From Sony, from any other conference. That was it for me. Like, once I had that, I was done. That was my highlight.
I had 3 highlights, and Sony was one of them. Bethesda was another, even though I didn't care about most of what they were doing. I still really liked the Bethesda one. And there's a third one that we'll get to later because I'm gonna talk about it in one go. But yeah, Sony, like one of the big ones was Last of Us Part 2, and we got to get more confirmation on what's going on with the story. And yeah, they're gonna run with the fact that Ellie kissed a girl and she liked it in the original game. Well, sorry, the original game's DLC.
Yeah, and DLC Left Behind.
Yeah.
I was like I tweeted. I know you noticed it. I was a little bit disappointed though because Ellie's breaking the golden rule right now.
What's that?
Once you go black, you never go back.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I think I retweeted that. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it was a long weekend.
I know.
But
it was just funny because it's like, oh man. And the worst part, that was another thing that got like a lot of hate was the fact that they were saying that they were focused on Ellie being a lesbian, which, I mean, if you played the original, you know already. Yeah. It's a part of her character.
Yeah.
It's an established character trait of hers already, so.
Yeah.
People just don't understand. They just want to find something to be upset about.
I know, like, there's legitimate things to be upset about. Like, the gameplay isn't very good, or the story ultimately isn't very good. But you can't guarantee that just because a character changes.
Right. But from a gameplay perspective, one of the things that I noticed, and maybe it was just from the trailer, because I'm assuming that a majority of what we saw was actual gameplay footage.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people were saying maybe it was kind of halfway. It was a little bit gameplay footage, but it was really already tailored to look like it does. But one thing that I noticed, and I hope this is actually true, one-shot kills.
Maybe it's just tailored.
That's what I'm worried about. Because one of the biggest problems, not only with The Last of Us, the first one, but also the Uncharted series, is the fact that, of course, enemies are bullet sponges.
Yep.
But in the trailer, we saw Ellie actually shoot a guy in the chest, and that was a one-shot kill.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it's that. Like, we got headshots and maybe specific chest shots will be actual one-shot kills, because at least it will make sense. But, like I said, it might be just trailer tailored in that way. I don't know.
Well, my theory is they're gonna go for slightly more realistic to try to play up the realism of Last of Us, but I don't think it's gonna be one-shot kills per se. It may be, like, unless they decide to be generous, like certain shots through the torso or something will knock them down, leave them down, so they're easy to finish off, but won't kill them.
For humans, I'm saying yes, please let it be. Let it be. We can disable limbs and what have you when it comes to humans, and to a certain extent when it comes to clickers too. But like one-shot kill for clickers, I can deal with not happening. I'm perfectly fine with that. Outside of the good old-fashioned shift to the neck, but from a gameplay perspective, what we saw, it looks incredible. Graphics, of course, look incredible. The scenario, the story potential looks great. I'm really intrigued because it appears that Ellie, as we saw like in the original announcement trailer, which was last year's E3 or the year before?
Yes, it was last year's.
Okay. Where it seems like Ellie has gotten away from Joel, and something has happened that's changed her whole perspective, and now maybe they might reunite later on. I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out. The main reason I got a PS3 was because of The Last of Us. And I'm so excited about 2. I just don't see this not being my game of the year next year if it does come out in 2019.
Here's hoping. I'm saying it now, though. Ghost Joel. Joel was a ghost the whole time.
Oh, man, that'd be crazy.
Yeah. Do you want to stick with Sony for a bit? Because we got 3 more.
Let's Sony, yeah.
Okay. Well, to quickly mention it, we saw more Spider-Man, but there's not much new to say.
No, we just know that potential Sinister 6. That's like the major thing that we know.
Yeah, because we knew Mr. Negative was going to be a big focus and Kingpin was going to be around, but it looks like now we are getting potentially the whole Sinister 6.
Yeah.
Which version we'll see.
Yeah, that Rhino looked awesome, though.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Way better than the one we got in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I know.
Damn it, Paul Giamatti. Why are you Russian?
Oh, man.
That's one of my favorite questions to ask. It's just like, why are you Russian?
No, it looked really good. I'm excited about it. It's one of those games that we actually are hopefully going to get this year, and no delays after we had a couple before. Because we were supposed to get this past week or something originally, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
I know it was like early June. That was the original release date. It was like early.
Yeah,
June.
they got it for October now. I think it's September.
Oh, it's
October, September.
Is it October now?
I thought it was October.
I thought it was September.
Might have been September.
Yeah.
I might be misremembering. I just know like a lot of stuff got moved around this week.
Yeah,
like,
it really did. Yeah.
They announced Valkyria Chronicles 4 got pushed back.
So, I thought it was coming out in October.
It was.
Oh.
Emphasis on was.
Man.
It sounds like it's gotten pushed back to sometime in December. But yeah, one of the other things let's just wrap up Sony.
Okay.
So yeah, recently was it Spider-Man? It's coming. Looks good. Not much else to say.
No, just a good game. Yeah.
But what we got gameplay footage for? Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh man, now speaking of one-hit kills, I got Bushido Blade feeling off of that one. That was incredible.
Oh yeah, I got heavy feeling for Way of the Samurai and Bushido Blade.
Yeah.
Which are 2 franchises I love.
Yeah.
I mean, Bushido Blade, they can only do so much with what they have.
Right, especially during that era. And why can't we get a Bushido Blade sequel? I've been wanting one for at least since the second one came out. That was what, 98, 99?
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's been 20 years. I want another one. And this might be the closest thing we get, and I'm excited about it. It really looks good. Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, and so we get to see how the gameplay works, and it looks very fluid. It looks very, very much like the stuff that we've come to expect from Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
And it kind of almost reminds me a bit of some Team Ico stuff, too.
Yeah, it really does.
So, and these are all compliments. I mean, like, the one thing is, we'll see if it ends up being as good as the footage. But, I mean, you say that about every game you see.
Yeah, especially now when you consider... It's amazing that we used to watch trailers, and it was like, okay, of course this is all CGI. There's no way it's going to look this good. There's no way it's going to play this good. And now we actually have gotten so close to the reality of, man, it's hard to tell exactly if this is going to happen and if this is not, because it could actually happen.
Yep. Okay, I got another one we should probably touch on since we're going full Sony. Death Stranding.
I knew you were gonna. If you had to wrap up Sony in any way, you had to wrap it up with Death Stranding, because
Norman Reedus fetus.
Oh man, because as crazy as The Last of Us 2 was, it was only as confusing as the entire Sony press conference handling was, which is topped off by Death Stranding, the gameplay trailer that was a lot of rock climbing and fetuses and a couple of actress showcases, and that's about it.
Look, Hideo Kojima just wants to make his fanfic. He's got Norman Reedus, he's got Mads Mikkelsen, he's got what's-her-nuts, Lindsay Wagner, who played the Bionic Woman.
Yes.
And he's got Leah Serio, who's, like, you know... My favorite thing is, if you've been following his Twitter feed, one of the things he tweeted was his favorite films of hers, which are all, like, actual proper French films. Like, what I'm slowly learning is that Kojima is a serious cinephile.
Yeah.
And, you know, but this is always his way. I mean, don't forget, most of his games that weren't Metal Gear were, like, story-based games.
Yeah, they were cinematic masterpiece from a video game perspective, which is incredible because, like, okay, no joke, I thought about this after seeing, like, Metal Gear Solid 4 had an ending. This is the only ending I've ever started to fall asleep on because it was so long.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it dragged.
Like, it was long as a movie, I mean, for goodness sakes.
Look, we get it. He's old. He's dying. Old soldiers never die. They just meet their weird clone dad thing, who then just kills himself anyway.
Yeah. The 3 was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Snake Eater.
But I always get to look forward to a Hideo Kojima project because there's a part of me that always questions my existence afterwards.
Yep. Yeah. It's like, what is life?
Yeah.
We're about to find out. But I do want to, just in case people are worried we're praising Sony too much, I do want to comment on something that kind of came out as part of E3. I don't know how much of it was, but they announced it related to another conference, which we'll get into after this. Okay. But Sony apparently has been locking Fortnite players to their system.
Yeah. Which is
unfortunate because Fortnite just came out on the Switch.
Yeah, and people were excited. They were crashing servers excited.
Yeah, because for those who aren't aware, Fortnite, especially Fortnite Battle Royale, is now one of the most popular online games. Like, it's outperforming PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, which is one of the reasons that company's probably suing them, because they feel like they've been ripped off, which... Don't even get me started. I mean, it's very much a Mr. Misi situation.
Exactly. Come on. Like, seriously.
You got me into this. Yeah. Let's not go back to the beginning. That's just tedious at this point. But yeah. So unfortunately, it looks like Sony's just being silly, and apparently they're looking into it. But that's real shady stuff.
They're not.
It's bad enough like Sony doesn't have the best reputation for curating their online store. Like, have you seen some of the stuff that's come up in their online store lately?
Yeah, it's been crap.
Yeah. I mean, at least they've been bringing it in terms of free games for PlayStation Plus members. But well, you can't have everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, this came out as a part of the Switch presentation because Nintendo brought it this year.
I thought they did well. I'm not gonna say they did a show-stealing appearance, but I thought they did well.
No, I mean, because it's hard. Like I said, it's a three-way tie for me between that Nintendo, Bethesda, and Sony. Like, Sony had a lot of pretty good reveals and such, but their representation dragged.
Yeah, no, for me, definitely Microsoft. Sony, like you said, just because of a couple of big highlights, and Nintendo was right up there. You know what? Honestly, fan anticipation really made Nintendo so much fun. Like, I think the joys of the fans is what made the Nintendo conference so fun.
Well, yeah, because they hit 3 of their big franchises. Like the sleeper franchise, of course, Fire Emblem,
right? Which,
don't forget, has over a dozen entries now. So don't pretend it's not a franchise. Because we got Fire Emblem Three Houses, which, just to be confusing, is gonna have 4 protagonists. 3 houses, 4 protagonists. Somebody have a baby? I don't know.
Two Joy-Cons, 1 Switch.
Yeah. We can play this number game all day, Fire Emblem. Well, they've been trying to simplify the names, because if you look up the original names for the Fire Emblem games, oh my god, they're wordy. Like, my favorite one is Fire Emblem 4, which is Fire Emblem Genealogy of a Holy War.
Wow.
Right?
And then, like, too much.
Yeah, and then it went like the Binding Blade, the Blazing Blade, and yeah, there's some other ones that got. What was it? There was a remake recently of Fire Emblem 2, and it was like Echoes of Valencia.
Yeah, well, now they have another one they can steal from if they want to.
Yep.
Thanks to Super Smash Brothers.
Yes. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Yes, because
everyone.
You want to be the ultimate Super Smash Brothers player by having everyone ever on the roster.
Yep. Except Waluigi. That's a thing that's going around. But yeah, like all the even all the guest characters like Cloud and Snake and Sonic and Mega Man, they're all in there. Yeah, and then all the classic Nintendo characters, all the different Fire Emblem characters. Yeah, they're all in there. All the Pokemon. That's like what, 12 different Pokemon now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff.
It really is. I don't know how they're going to handle this, from balancing issues to servers to everything. Like, this is going to be crazy how Nintendo has to handle this one.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued.
That was probably their big.
That
like,
was it. That was the one. That was the one that put the flag on the daggone stage where they was like, "Hey, you were looking forward to something from Nintendo. Here we go." And people talked about it pretty much from the time it was announced until it was over, and people are still talking about it. Like, that's a big deal coming out of E3.
Although another smaller one, but this one, I like, of the 3 we're talking about with Nintendo, this is probably the second biggest if you don't count Fortnite.
Yeah.
Is Super Mario Party.
Yeah, which was surprising.
Yeah. Well, no, because Mario Party's always been popular with Nintendo fans.
Right. But
like, it's usually not the reason people buy a Nintendo console, but it's a very popular thing.
It's been kind of dormant for the last few years, too. It hasn't been that big of a deal for Nintendo. So, that was interesting. On the opposite of the spectrum, like, I was kind of expecting some kind of Metroid footage or something, but...
No, but they did hit up another one of their classic franchises, so... I mean, it's like they're doing their franchises justice. I think one thing Nintendo's doing right now when it comes to first party games is taking their time to try to like give each one some breathing room. Like, and they're doing a pretty good job.
Right, because like we had Zelda and Mario last year, and now we're going to focus on Smash Brothers and Super Mario Party, and then maybe the year after that we have Metroid and stuff. I think they're trying to make sure they give all their first parties some breathing room so everybody can enjoy them and get enough time with them.
Don't forget Mario Kart.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, like they hit a lot of their big flagship ones with the first year of the Switch, and then now we're hitting a lot of the other big flagship ones. So I mean, like, I don't know, I wouldn't call Fire Emblem flagship, but it's probably their most prominent tactical RPG.
Oh, and then we also got the new Pokemon for Switch too. Whenever that comes out.
Oh yeah. Pikachu and Eevee. Yeah, let's go. That one's kind of gotten a mixed reception.
But like you know it's going to sell like hotcakes, and they're going to reviewers are going to give it like high scores no matter what. So
it's got a semi-functional Pokeball accessory.
Yeah, it's Pokemon. You know it's going to get some kind of high score, and that's going to sell like hotcakes. So
yeah. Well, it should be good. Do you want to do some Square stuff next, or some Ubi?
I think we should do Ubi because Square is yeah, let's do Ubi.
Yeah, no, there's some good stuff with Square, but there's some other stuff with
it's like Square really relied on other conferences to hype their own products.
Yeah, that was kind of a mix.
Yeah.
So Ubi, okay, like, probably right out of the gate, we got to touch on Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah, your game that I know you're looking forward to this year.
I'm probably still not going to play it right away, but I mean, I always go to the Assassin's Creed franchise. Like, the only time I was really disappointed was Unity.
Right.
Because Unity was freaking horrible.
Yeah.
Origins.
I have not played anything of it between 3 and Origins. Yeah. And as we said, we did audio. We talked about it earlier. This year, I played Origins and played through it, enjoyed it. But it was one of those things where I'm just so out of it now when it comes to Assassin's Creed games. Like, no matter what they do, I just can't get hyped about it, and which is shocking because they have done some major changes when it comes to the gameplay and the setting and the way the game even functions this time around with Odyssey.
Oh yeah, because they're flat out going for Witcher. They're going full RPG.
Like, that is so true.
I was sitting through Origins and I was like, really feels like they're trying to do The Witcher. And now, guess what? In the next one, not only is there a male and female protagonist again, you can pick the two. You can customize the character more.
Right.
And there's romance options. There's same-sex romance options.
It's Greece.
Yep, it's conversational dialogue. Oh, yeah, it's true. It is ancient Greece.
It's Greece.
Look, Spartans, they liked them.
Yeah.
As did the Athenians. I'll totally check that out. But the thing about Odyssey I want to mention is it's interesting too because you play a descendant of Leonidas.
Yeah.
Although I get the feeling they're gonna go for the more accurate story version of 300, and not the propagandish one we got.
I'm not gonna go there because one of the things that I saw in I was watching just highlights on YouTube, and like they did a little advertisement for it, and there was an obvious Medusa head.
Yeah.
So I'm not ruling out supernatural occurrences in this one.
Well, because they've hinted that, because this takes place before Origins.
Right.
So this could be, remnants of the ancient civilization that they revealed in Assassin's Creed 2.
This could be... never really got a fault.
Yeah, because they've never really tried to explain them too much.
Yeah, they just gotta let that wide open after the Ezio trilogy. It was like, yeah... whatever.
Well, what's even worse is in 4 they introduced the idea that they're immortal beings, but we still haven't really gotten a lot of follow up on them. They just kind of established that might be a thing. They're trying to introduce a new arc that started with Origins because we got Layla, the protagonist in the future.
Yeah,
and it sounds like this is going to continue her story, so we'll see what happens there. But this is the narrative in Assassin's Creed is kind of messed up. But I'm honestly still looking forward to it because I want to see the new Assassin's Creed gameplay mesh with the RPG elements, and I just hope they don't go too ubi with it again with making the world just so cumbersome.
Yeah, it was too big last time. It was way too big.
Oh yeah, because that's the thing is Ubisoft is constantly exhausting me with how big and just tedious their worlds feel. Even the good games, like Far Cry 5, like I said, I liked it for the most part, but it's too big.
Yeah, it's way too big. It really is.
It just doesn't feel streamlined, and that's the problem. I like having freedom, but I mean...
Yeah, that's what's really becoming a problem in open world games now, is the fact, we have the power of having something big, but then they don't know how to actually fill it and make it not feel so just over-intrusive.
Yeah, another franchise we can talk about in a bit, I think does a better job of it, and of course, we've always been happy with how the Yakuza games do it.
Right, exactly.
Especially because it feels really realistic.
Yeah.
So that's Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I am looking forward to it all the same. One of the other ones from Ubi was Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yeah. Big reveal, too.
Yep, we finally got to see Jade.
Yep, who's the main protagonist of the first game.
Yep.
And, she saw how the world works in the first game.
Yeah.
And it has not done her well.
It happens.
No, but I'm really looking forward to this because they have. At first, it felt like when they showed the initial trailer, it just didn't feel right. It was kind of weird. But now, after seeing some gameplay footage and seeing what they're trying to possibly accomplish, I'm really looking forward to it. And it's another one of those games where I'm questioning how in the world are they going to physically accomplish this on this generation's consoles.
I know this is the thing that worries me. Because it was a very unique original game, and I'm worried that anything they do to make it possible may take away from the original.
Right.
Which is, like I said, that's what's kind of worrying me about this whole thing. Especially because we could end up with a Duke Nukem Forever situation. I mean, I'm hoping to pull it off, but like I said, because I've kind of gotten exhausted from Ubisoft lately, I'm just not 100% confident that we'll get the best we could get. I mean, I'm not saying it won't be good. Again, even though I'm exhausted with Ubisoft, I'm still looking forward to Odyssey.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I don't know. I'm a little cynical, but I think it'll probably be fine at the worst.
Yeah, I think it'll, if they take their time with it, I think it'll be a really good game. But it might be one of those things I think might be in the same vein. I know we didn't have it on the list, but just one thing I want to bring up because it's not really that much to talk about is Anthem. I think it might get the Destiny treatment beyond Good and Evil and Anthem. I think they're going to get the Destiny treatment where they're so laid out of the gate that they're made for both this generation, next generation consoles.
Very possible.
And one version is going to be really, of course, the dumbed down version. And if you really want the good version, you got to get a next gen console.
Yeah. Poor Anthem. I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah. It's probably the best thing I saw from EA this year, and even then, it's still like after watching more and more of it, I'm kind of losing my the bloom is falling off the rose with this one right now for me.
Yeah, the EA stuff wasn't that terribly interesting.
No. If you like sports games, a lot of them.
I'm trying to remember what else Ubi had because those were the big two.
Yeah, those are the big ones. Yeah.
Is Sekiro through Ubi or is that someone else?
Which one?
Sekiro?
No, that was isn't that the Bloodborne group?
Oh, that's the Bloodborne guys.
Yeah, From Software. From Software, yeah.
Yeah, From Software, sorry. Yeah, well, let's talk about that now. Because, yeah, it looks like, actually, this will tie into something else I wanted to also bring up real quick.
Okay.
Because, speaking of games that kind of, unfortunately, look a little derivative. So we talked about Shadow of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Then we got Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah.
Which looks like a kind of a Bloodborne-style game, although they said it's going to be different.
Right, even though they're promising it's going to be different, it felt like a feudal Japanese Bloodborne.
Yep. And then that brings me to the other one, because we already have one of those. It's called Neo.
Ah, yes, the sequel is coming.
Yep, they did promise that. That's probably one of the best things Koei's putting out right now.
Yeah.
Because, well, Tecmo Koei, because, I mean, they've beaten Dynasty Warriors into the ground. Because now, like, Dynasty Warriors 9 has not gotten a good reception.
Yeah, not at all.
And we're not going to do an episode on it because I will just rant for 20 minutes, and I don't want to do that. Look, if you're designing a map and you can't even have your buildings realistically stick in the terrain, you've slapped together a game too fast.
You've done a bad job.
Yeah, I'm just going to put it like that. But no, Neo, like that was a love project that the dude who made it was working on for like 10 plus years. And like it's interesting how much that changed because I think we got our announcement for it in like 2008. Like that's been off and on the shelf for about 10 years. And that turned out pretty well, all things considered.
Yeah, it was a really good game.
Yep. And now Neo 2 is coming, and I'm feeling the hype. Hopefully it's not a shameless cash grab. You know, not much else to say.
I don't think so. I don't really think so, because if I felt that way, it would have come out a year and a half later.
Yeah. But, speaking of Tecmo Koei, the other one they confirmed, I think you wanted to really talk about this. Dead or Alive 6?
Yeah, Dead or Alive 6 is coming, and I haven't played a Dead or Alive for quite a while, but I've always enjoyed the gameplay. I think it's like that perfect blend of Tekken and Virtua Fighter where it's a little bit zany, but it can still be a little bit more realistic. They've actually promised to tone down the sexualization of the women on this one, so...
Good luck.
Yeah.
That's become basically what the series is known for.
Yeah, but I think they like said we're going to say that for beach volleyball, so... I'm intrigued to see how that works out. I'm actually intrigued more to see how if that actually lives up to the hype compared to the actual gameplay, because I know the gameplay is going to be pretty good. But
they don't even call it beach volleyball anymore. They just call it, like, the last one I think was called Venus Vacation. And it was Japan only.
Yeah, so I'm intrigued. Like I said, the gameplay I know is going to be solid. It always is. So I'm not worried about that. I just want to see how, if they can keep their promise, we'll be able to turn down the opportunity of just ogling women for no apparent reason, just to ogle them, because we had a great man at the helm at one point.
It happens.
Oh, he was such a perfect man.
Yeah, well, you know. What can you do? Just gonna laugh it off at this point.
Yeah, it's video games. It's the video game culture. That's all it was at one point.
So let's maybe talk about a few more indie. Well, because we got 2 more indie type games. Okay. Well, 3. I think we got 3 more on the list that are pretty indie-ish. Not that indie, obviously, because they got big E3 spotlight. But we got Overkill's The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Which, seeing the trailer now, I'm getting a better glimpse of what the game is about. And it's not... I don't know. I really don't know right now. It seems like it's going to go like the more Dead Island route.
Yeah,
that's what I noticed.
Didn't we get a Walking Dead game that was kind of Dead Islandish, but it sucked?
Yeah, well, no, we had the one with they had Norman Reedus' character and his brother on there.
Yeah,
and that was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. But
look, James, don't you want to know how he got his crossbow? This is very important plot information.
Yeah, we're 3 or 4 seasons deep in the television show, and now we're going to play a video game that's absolutely terrible just to find out that little tidbit of information about his character. Yeah, I really... No. But in terms of Overkill's The Walking Dead, I think it's going to be... It looks good so far, but I don't know if it's going to be like that game that I was expecting it to be. I thought it was going to be more maybe like an action-oriented but still beautifully told kind of story. Because I mean, the character pieces when it came to the initial trailers made it look like, wow, this is going to be more story driven than I think it actually is going to be. I think it's going to be just go around and bash some heads together with your friends.
Well, that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
You just gotta have a good old fashioned head bashing. But but you gotta be careful when you bash heads, because otherwise you might go deaf. And speaking of deaf, The Quiet Man.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of this yet. But...
I don't either. I just wanted to put it on the list because it looks so weird.
Well, because they did a live action trailer that then transitioned into CG, and it's like, okay, that's interesting. But like the whole thing is, it looks like it's going to revolve around a deaf character.
Yeah.
And I guess it's going to be story oriented, because that's kind of what I got the impression of. Like it looked more narrative. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I'm still not sure what to make of it, but this is interesting because it would be the first time I've seen a protagonist who's deaf. I mean, we've gotten some protagonists or major characters who've been blind before and disabled before. I mean, obviously they're not very common because, especially with platformer types and stuff, you tend to want your people to be able to have most mobility.
Yeah.
You know, I would be incredibly impressed if they had the nuts to do a platformer, but you had to overcome a handicap as you went. That would be impressive. Although, you know, they'd have to do it right. But, yeah, aside from that, I don't have too much else to say either. They revealed it, and it's like, that looks interesting? ?
Yeah, but I tell you one thing. I believe I sent it to you on Facebook, but the memes that are coming out when it comes to this game, called The Quiet Man, connected to The Quiet Man in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
The internet ruins everything.
Yeah, I know. Well, on the plus side, we got more from Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, that was really good.
We still don't know when it's coming out.
No, not at all, but they're promising, they said there'll be more RPG elements in first-person shooting, which is a lot what they showed in the trailers was more gunplay than anything, but they're promising that it's going to be still very story-driven and very heavily connected to the previous games in the way that it handles its story and the character interactions, so... Yeah,
like, it's very interesting, because this is the CD Projekt Red who did the Witcher games, and I'm just really curious to see where this is all going to go. But, you know, we've gotten a good taste for the gameplay now, and it looks like it'll be very fun to play. Just need it to come out.
Yeah,
at this point, that's all we really need.
We just need that release date. Come on.
Yeah, come on, guys. So we'll see what happens with that, but definitely excited for that. I mean, that's going to be obvious contender, unless CD Projekt Red somehow drops the ball. I mean, Witcher 3 made how many best of games?
Yeah, and it did a very good job. I don't see it being a disappointment. I really don't.
No. They've earned a lot of love.
They've earned our trust. They've earned our trust.
Well, especially with the Witcher 3 DLCs.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you improve on an already pretty good game? Oh.
Hold my drink.
think the only thing that might be a problem is some of the experimental stuff may not have good gameplay, but I mean,
we'll see.
You and I, we love the Yakuza games, despite some of the minigames sucking.
We'll definitely see, but I'm thinking it's going to be a really great game. I think it's going to live up to the hype.
Absolutely. I think we should wrap up with mostly Square Enix. So let's knock off the other two on the list that aren't Square Enix.
Okay.
We got like 5 on the list. So one of the other ones. Okay, this is the one I wanted to talk about. It's Dying Light 2.
Oh man,
that's coming. I'm super excited for that.
Huge shock for me. I did not expect that to be announced.
I was hoping it was coming because I know they've been
I really did, but I did not expect it. And when it was announced, I was so happy.
Yeah, and because the only thing I didn't like about Dying Light 1 was that I didn't think it was really well balanced for single players. But True. I know this is something they've talked about trying to fix for a long time.
Right.
And I don't think they applied it to that game, but they're probably going to apply it to the next one. And see, Dying Light 2 is what I wanted Fallout 76 to be like. You know, it's very much a big campaign, but you can play it with other people just kind of porting in. Just being like your friends who are also survivors, like your party members, essentially.
Exactly.
That's what I wanted Fallout 76 to be.
And I love the fact that this is supposed to be, of course, they're saying that it's going to take place a little bit later on, I think like 15, 20 years after all the events that we started with Dying Light 1. And we're going to see you actually be involved in the change of society. Even if it's like this little area that you're working on where everything that you do kind of affects a lot of what's going on. Which, like, you never felt that in the first one. It was like, hey, it was a solid campaign of just, hey, go here, do this, even though you're doing things little by little that should have some meaning to the overall society that you're a part of, but it really didn't. And they're promising that that's going to be a major point in this one. My only apprehension, and I know they said they've been working on, like, the melee, the combat, and everything. My only apprehension coming to this is the fact that it seems like they're really focusing on you taking on human characters.
Yeah.
And the combat against humans in the first game was not fun at all.
No.
So, hopefully they learn the lesson, if that's the case, and they are really working to improve the melee and the combat, because against human characters it was really annoying. And hopefully that's not the case here.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they'll pull it off.
Yeah. Because Dying Light, to me, the first one was everything that I wanted Dead Island to be, the first 2 games. Like, that's what I wanted those to be. And it delivered. I was pleasantly surprised. I was really happy. It's one of my favorite games of this gen that shocked me. I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did, and I'm really looking forward to 2.
Yeah, and it didn't feel exploitive, and it didn't have a game-breaking save glitch.
Oh my goodness, man!
You know, so no, absolutely looking forward. I'm sure they'll build upwards. The last one I wanted to comment on before we get to the Square Enix stuff was the Resident Evil 2 remake. Yeah, I'm not much to say.
Capcom, you've done it again.
Yeah, I'll take it, because I mean, Resident Evil remakes, it's always been the company's kind of bread and butter.
Right.
But this one looks like a pretty good one.
Yeah, this looks like an entirely new experience. If I had to say like one of the better remakes I've ever experienced thus far has been Shadow of the Colossus that came out earlier this year.
Yeah, Shadow of the Colossus and Yakuza Kiwami are 2 very good remakes.
And Kiwami is right there behind it.
Yeah.
This, it looks like it's on another level.
I don't know about that, but it definitely, because especially when you look at the side-by-sides of like the original game and now, it's like, whoa, they've definitely done a lot with this.
Right, but my only thing is, in terms of story and in terms of the options when it comes to the endings and everything else, like, I don't know how much they're going to actually fit on this game. Because just from the graphics and just what the city and the recreation of everything, this is going to be a huge game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, think about it, it was 2 discs on PlayStation.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how big this game is going to be.
Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. And hey, we're still not going to get closer to Leon and Ada. Because they love to toy with us.
Yes.
How many freaking movies and games is that going on now where they don't give any closure to that? It's way too...
We're so deep now.
I know, it's if there's one plot tumor that Resident Evil has, it's Leon and Ada. But it's okay, this is where it all began, so we're fine. Plus you get to play as Claire again.
Yeah, and now you get to wonder exactly what the the sequel games can answer those questions, and then you realize that no, they don't.
Nope, it's fine. It'll be fine.
Just experience 2 and be happy.
Yeah, no, it's great, and we'll actually get to see Umbrella go through their downfall because they blew up Raccoon City. So Square Enix, there was 4 games on there that we kind of wanted to talk about, but there's one that we would love to talk about that wasn't there.
Oh man, Square, how did you drop the ball?
No Final Fantasy VII.
And I know that they have a chance in September to pick it up.
Tokyo Game Show, yep.
Exactly. But come on. This is where all the eyes are. Yep. There's no excuse.
Nope.
Unless you have something that is not up to par by now. Yeah. And that's my concern. Like, we're so far removed. I was holding out hope. I really was. 20th anniversary, we'll get something.
Nope.
Here we are now. Now we're on 21.
James, this is Final Fantasy. Remember how long 15 took to come out?
Yeah, but come on. At least that was from the ground up.
We'll see what happens.
You already have an established story, characters, everything.
Yeah.
And no, but we got to do a different battle system and all that kind of stuff. No, they're screwing. We wanted to remaster. That was it. That's all the people wanted. We just wanted to remaster, and they want to go a whole different route, and here we are now.
Yep. So we'll see how that goes. Just gotta roll with the punches. But you know what they did?
Of the spectrum.
You know what they did bring? Kingdom Hearts 3.
Exactly.
And fun fact, you can now purchase the Kingdom Hearts Complete set, which gets you 1.5, 2.5, and a pre-order of 3 on the PSN store right now.
Yep.
And so Kingdom Hearts 3, yeah. If there's one thing, I always admire how bold they are to put a very soft, whispery, romantic song over the footage and then take out the other sound. So all you hear is the dialogue, which without the appropriate music can sound really corny, especially in English. But, you know, I mock only because I love, because we got like ship combat gameplay, we got shooter gameplay, we got regular combat gameplay.
Forget that spaceship battle. We don't worry about the gummy ship anymore. We got a freaking Pirates of the Caribbean ship battle now.
Yeah, because they showed some of the worlds we'll see, because we're going to see a Return of Hercules. We're going to go back to the Pirates of the Caribbean, and we're going to get Tangled, Frozen, and what was the other one they showed? Oh, Toy Story.
Yeah. You don't think Agent 47 is coming after you, do you?
Speaking of Hitman, we got Hitman 2.
There we go. Oh, Hitman 2 is coming out. Yeah. It looks so much like the last Hitman, the episodic ones.
Yep. Although
I was really hoping for something a little bit more when I saw the gameplay footage, and it looks exactly like the episodic one so far, which I liked, but it just felt so limiting. Like, playing them, like, you had to do these things at specific times. There was really no room for error, unless you wanted to, like, just restart a whole mission.
Have you not seen the co-op footage?
No, I haven't. I just saw the single player.
Yeah, there's co-op sniper missions.
Wow.
They're pretty amazing. Like, I should send that to you later. Because, like, there's a thing where, like, you have to take out 3 people at a wedding at an Italian villa. And, of course, there's sub-achievements, like, kill all the pigeons, kill all the hawks, kill all the rubber duckies. Oh, there's target opportunities. You can drop speakers on people. You can drop a chandelier on someone.
I gotta check that out. That might change my entire perception of what I saw. Yeah.
It did look interesting. Yeah, I don't know how much it's going to factor in, but I should send you that footage later.
Yeah.
And then we got Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which, I like the last one just fine, but
I liked the remake. I liked the 2013 reboot.
Yeah, it was alright.
I liked the reboot. I liked Rise. I thought it was good. Both very solid games. This showed me absolutely nothing really to get hyped, because it just felt like this is redundant. This is the exact same game I played 2 times before. Even from a graphics perspective, it looked almost just like Rise.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be a solid game, because, like I said, the last 2 were really good. But it just gave me, like, no incentive to say, you know, this is going to be so much better than the last 2. It felt like, yep, this is number 3 right now in the reboot series.
Yep, feeling the hype.
Yep.
Not really. Still fine with the hype. Just,
you know. Like I said, solid game, but it just doesn't feel like in the worlds of The Last of Us 2, where the worlds of The Last of Us 2 potentially exist, and have a release date that's going to come very soon. You have Spider-Man, you have, of course, the Uncharted series. It just feels like this is just the same stuff that we've seen over and over again.
Yeah.
It's the watchdog of these kind of games right now.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
Yeah, there you go.
But, well, to wrap it up, we do have one I'm actually really excited for, which is for Just Cause 4.
Oh, yeah.
Look, it's not my favorite franchise,
right?
But it is one of my most happy franchises.
Yeah, I was happy with 3 until it started screwing up on me.
Yeah, no, it's great. Like, unfortunately 3 had a couple of glitches that really drove me nuts.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
And the sad part about it was like one of those games where I wanted to enjoy it so much more than I did, because when everything was going fine, it was fun. It's incredibly fun.
James.
But,
in this one, you can attach booster rockets to a car and then attach balloons to a car so you can build your own flying car.
My thing is, Matt Hardy's original singles theme could become a reality. That could become like the theme for everything that is Just Cause 4.
Really?
Because you can actually slap a tornado on this one.
It's true. Yeah, because that's one of the big things they added was they added weather effects.
Yeah.
And my favorite is you can get trapped in a tornado and then get hit by a bus in a tornado.
So, like I said, if everything works out, I know they're saying there's a new engine too, so if they can get the thing to actually be functional, I'm really excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's as bad as for frame rates and glitches and crashes as the last game was, and that was after various updates, I'm not looking forward to it. But if it can work out fine, if it can reach the potential that I know it can, I'm really thinking this is going to be one of those I hate to say B-level games, but it's not like a AAA.
Yeah.
But it's one of those games that I will be talking about where a lot of other people aren't. Where you say, hey, what's one of your favorite games of the year? It's one of those ones I'm going to bring up, and everyone's like, oh yeah, that was a really good game. I want people to know that it was a good game.
Yeah, hopefully it pulls out. We'll see what happens. I was saying earlier, world maps that feel easily popular. Like the map of Just Cause 3 was pretty well designed.
No, that was actually very good. It didn't take too long to traverse.
Nope.
And it had a lot of stuff going on everywhere.
Like 2 wasn't designed that well, just because of how big the mountain in the middle was. But like 3 was really well designed.
Yeah, that was a very good example of an open world done right.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're huge fans of the Yakuza games, but I mean that's another example right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say so. We'll just have to see what happens with that one. Like I said, Square Enix kind of brought it, but they also shelled themselves out, so they didn't have too much fresh stuff to show at their own.
Yeah. When it came down to their time to shine, it really wasn't that much. I was like, a show.
No, but yeah, noticeably, we didn't have any Call of Duty this year.
Yeah, well, I guess they've made the big announcement already, and saying they're like a Battlefield, so I guess they're in pretty good shape now.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, I guess they didn't want to be the same team, like, oh, we dropped the single player campaign too, and all that kind of stuff. We got Battle Royale mode. I guess they didn't want to deal with it this year.
No. They'll let EA just go out there and just be like, hey guys, we got Battlefield 5 and we got Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's still a thing.
Oh, yeah, we forgot to mention the Star Wars game is coming out by the Titanfall people too.
Yeah, we don't know anything about that though.
Yeah, it's another one of those Battletoads situations. Like, we know it exists, but we don't know exactly what it's going to be like.
Yeah, it's worth noting that Respawn Entertainment or Redspawn, whatever. I think it's Respawn.
Respawn.
Yeah, they're gonna. Titanfall 2. Its campaign is one of the most underrated things I've ever played. Because if nothing else, the time jump sequence where you can go between 2 different timelines, that is so well done. And like, I just want to see, and it had some of the best first-person platforming I've ever had. So, I mean, I want to see what else they can do beyond this, because as much as I like Titanfall, that franchise unfortunately isn't doing so well.
Right, yeah.
Although they did say they're doing it. Sorry?
No, I was just saying, it was one of those casualties. Like, it was hyped. It didn't necessarily live up to the first one.
It didn't.
It was very. I hate to break on Watch Dogs again, but it was another Watch Dogs situation where it was so much hype for it, and it wasn't as good as the hype. It didn't live up to the hype. And then the sequel came out, and it was actually better than the first one, and really a very good game, but nobody cared by then.
Yeah, they wore out their welcome, unfortunately. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, yeah. On that note, I think we're pretty E3'd out.
Yeah, yeah, we've been E8 out for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know. We'll see what happens. Maybe Anthem will be good after all.
Yeah. So overall, before we close out, overall thoughts on this year's E3.
It was decently exciting. We got. Oh, and of course, be sure to check out the Devolver video.
Yeah.
Because Devolver is always amazing. It's just delightful performance art at this point. Like I said, my favorite presentations were probably either Sony or Bethesda.
Right.
Those were probably the big two for me.
Yeah, Microsoft and Sony for me were the top two.
And of course Nintendo. But I mean Nintendo,
Yeah, they're gonna have a good show either way. I mean they're going to appease their fans no matter what.
They're on fire right now. So
yeah.
I mean, and yeah, there's definitely I've got a couple games that weren't really on my radar that are on my radar now. Like we've talked about them before, so I'd say decent showing.
Very much so.
I'm glad we didn't see anything about next gen consoles yet.
But they gave you the hype for it because what was one game I can't remember? Was it Star something?
Starfield.
Yeah, there you go, Starfield. They pretty much told you, hey, it's coming out for next gen consoles. So
yep.
Yeah, so we know they're on the horizon, but thankfully, I guarantee you next year that's when they're going to have the big announcement.
Yeah, and they'll probably come by 2020.
And that's what I'm hoping for. I was saying, at the earliest, I think they should come to 2020. I think that'd be the perfect time because we've hit that apex of what these consoles can do from a gameplay and graphics perspective, and now it's time to move on. It's perfect time, yep. And I think 2020 is the perfect time for a new console generation.
Yep. That note we've probably been going for a long time.
Oh, yeah. We're ending on a high note just like E3 with so much good stuff coming into 2019.
Absolutely. Well, until next time, folks, James, thank you for being here.
Always a pleasure.
And we'll get back to probably something a little more regular next week.
Yeah.
Till then, have yourselves a good day.